Why do we make electric cars? Is it because of consumer demand or government policy?
My sense is it's per my colleague to my left is it's because it's a combination of the two. But
Okay.
So, we're a market economy, so
right.
the government does work.
So
to help
some
the
people
market
want
signals.
them, right? So David, if we did away with the mandate or the goal of having half the vehicle fleet electrified, a government policy, by 2035, what percentage of the cars on the road do you think would be electric without a mandate?
Senator, that's a very good question. Last year was 9.5%. So if we fast forward, it's hard to say. A lot of it depends on how reliant we are.
Well, let's just say we did away with the mandate. Trump says he wants to do away. Will that end electric car manufacturing in America?
No. However, we might have unbalanced things as it relates to whether or not the U.S. is competitive.
Is the dominance of China irreversible in this supply chain?
I believe not. Absolutely not. I think the U.S. and its allies and friends, if we move quickly to create agile, responsive, and coordinated policies, could flip the script.
Does everybody agree China's going to continue to make a bunch of electric vehicles no matter what we do?
Correct.
Everybody agree with that?
Yes, sir.
For whatever reason, they're going to make a bunch of them. It seems to me that the supply chain to make a battery, if we don't change our policy, is going to be so dominated by China, we may just have lost this entire area of our economy. Is that fair to say, Mr. David?
So if the U.S. isn't competing on electrification and the rest of the world is, we've got a real risk.
Well, that's what BMW is trying to do in Volvo in South Carolina. Can you be for EVs and against mining, Mr. Jenkins?
Well, I think we need to source the requisite materials for the entire supply chain, and note the environmental impact of that is substantially lower than mining billions of tons of coal or billions of tons equivalent of oil each year that we light on fire.
Okay, that's good. So if you're for EVs, you need to be for mining here at home. Does everybody agree with that? If you're for EVs, you need to have a robust grid. Do you agree with that, Ms. Gross?
I agree with that.
Because the demand is real. Mr. Jenkins, are you opposed to natural gas as being part of the future of the grid?
Natural gas generation is going to remain a part of the grid for quite some time, particularly for capacity needs, so to meet peak demands. And
so without natural gas, it'd be pretty unrealistic to meet the demand.
That said, we're going to see a reduction in the amount of natural gas consumed by those power plants as we scale up American renewable energy resources that can displace gas burnt,
as a
if not the capacity.
As a baseload fuel, renewables are going to get us to where we need to go without natural gas and nuclear power.
Senator, we don't need a baseload fuel. What we need is a combination of resources that can meet all of our demands throughout the year. Renewables are great at supplying energy, but they're reliably unreliable. We know they're not going to be there.
I agree with you. I think the mandate is probably pushing us. I don't like it, but I think consumers are going to demand some electric vehicles. China is not going to change their policy. It seems to be a part of the future economically. And if we don't watch it, we're going to be out of the battery business. And I would just like to have a rational approach to what I think is an irreversible trend, that there will be more electric cars over time, not less. And I think it'd be a shame to not play in this space. For whatever reason drives you, no pun intended, I think America's going to make some real hard decisions quickly. And if we do it, we will dominate this market, no matter how big it is or how small it might be. I'd like to dominate this market for a lot of reasons, or at least be competitive. I met with the Chinese ambassador yesterday, and I'll close with this. I said, we're going to have an honest discussion about the way you produce electric cars. Get ready for that discussion.